2 years ago this week, after an agonizing search, Gabby Petito's mom and dad received the worst news a parent could get. Their daughter was found dead in a national forest in Wyoming, where she'd been traveling and camping with Brian Laundrie, a man who she thought loved her. Well, we all know what happened. Laundrie killed her and then later killed himself, and her body was discovered. It was 2 years ago yesterday. This week is the anniversary of just that awful, awful story. And Ashleigh takes a look back at it all.
In early June of 2021, Brian Laundrie and Gabby Petito were a young couple setting out on a cross-country road trip. And Gabby's digital diary, her photos and her videos and her real-time reports from wherever they happened to be, well, that was her way of sharing that magical time with the world. But in August, all of that ended. Gabby's final Instagram post was the very same day that she last spoke with her mother, August 25th. And on September 1st, Brian returned to the home of his parents in Northport, Florida, but he was all by himself in the camper van that the couple had been driving together to Colorado and Utah and Wyoming. Gabby was missing, but her family wouldn't file a report for about a week and a half, presumably because they couldn't fathom that anything bad had happened with her fiancé. Laundrie, though, well, he said nothing. And his parents said nothing about Gabby, what happened to Gabby, where Gabby could possibly be. And so the police eventually named Brian Laundrie as a person of interest.
Take a seat, all right?
And then, back up in Utah, police released body cam video that showed the idyllic road trip those two had been on. Well, it was shown in a completely different light. It was a traffic stop in the desert, 4:44 p.m. on August 12th. The officers responding to a witness report of possible domestic abuse.
I don't know, we've just been fighting all morning, and he wouldn't let me in the car before.
Why wouldn't he let you in the car? Because of your OCD?
He told me I needed to calm down. Yeah. But I'm perfectly calm all the time. And
one day after that video was broadcast everywhere, a bombshell from Laundrie's parents. Now Brian was missing too. Florida police started searching, but did not call it a manhunt, and did not appreciate an avalanche of questions as to how their person of interest had somehow slipped away so easily. They focused their search on the nearby nature preserve, where Laundrie's parents claimed he told them he was going for a walk days earlier.
We are doing our due diligence to find Brian and an area that intelligence had led us that he could possibly be in. And it's upon us to make sure that we search this area as best as we can, as massive as it is, with the resources that we have to try to find Brian.
And then on September 19th, Gabby Petito's remains were found at a Wyoming campsite. Days later, a federal arrest warrant was issued for Brian Laundrie. Apparently, he had helped himself to Gabby's debit card on his way back to Florida. Laundrie was officially a fugitive for almost a month, during which his sister publicly urged him to turn himself in.
I would tell my brother to just come forward and get us out of this horrible mess. I hope my brother is alive, because I want answers just as much as everybody else.
A month into this whole ordeal, in early October, a hiker swore that he saw Brian Laundrie, even spoke to him, on the Appalachian Trail in North Carolina. Laundrie was a camper, so it did make sense, and many assumed that he had changed his appearance as well. Investigators and journalists and true crime fans on the internet all weighed in with mock-ups of Brian with more hair, with less hair, with different hair, with a bushy beard, and with no beard at all. But none of it panned out. Brian Laundrie was still on the run. But on October 20th, Laundrie's remains were finally found in Florida, in that park abutting the vast nature preserve that had been searched time and time again. The area had recently flooded, and it would take another month to determine that Brian had actually shot himself in the head. He'd also left behind a notebook in which we finally learned he admitted to strangling Gabby Petito.
It was just such an awful development there. We all hoped that she was going to be found alive. Gabby Petito's death is what sparked NewsNation to launch a weekly missing series where we highlight missing people. And tonight, in Gabby's honor, we want to shine a light on other missing people, just maybe help get them home to their loved ones. This is something that's really important to Gabby's family, to share these missing cases. 27-year-old Raja Adriana McQueen went missing on June 16th, 2021 in Cleveland. You see the picture there. Police say she was last seen getting into her 2018 Nissan Sentra at a gas station. If you've got any information, call the FBI tip line, 216-583-5383. 13-year-old Iris Perez and 15-year-old Tamara Perez, sisters, they vanished in June of this year near the home of their adoptive parents in Houghton Lake, Michigan. They were last seen walking toward nearby woods. If you've got any help, you can call the Roscommon County Sheriff's Office, 989-275-5101. And then Matthew Tyler Henry was last seen April 15th, 2018 in a Tractor Supply parking lot in Dunlap, Tennessee. He was 29 years old at the time. Any information on that one, you see the photo. There's a couple of photos there. You can call Dunlap Police, 423-949-3319.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.